You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to talk about some portal activity, man. It's been a busy last couple of days with work and everything, so I appreciate everybody's patience. But as the portal finally closes, which means to the best of my knowledge, no one else can enter the portal, those who are in the portal, they can still move on to other teams, but no one else from North Carolina can actually put their name in the portal. So we've got to discuss some more movement. But first, shout out to the Huddle Hooligans for all of their love and support. My buddy Hutch is sending me a surprise that I can't wait to show you guys. And I just can't thank these guys enough for all that they do, man. It's really like a brotherhood inside a brotherhood, man. And as we go throughout the show, man, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into this thing, man. And we'll start off with the fact that since the last time we've spoken, 4 more Tar Heels have entered the transfer portal, right, before it actually closed. And that's running back Jahvaree Cobb, tight end Ryan Ward, linebacker Curtis Simpson, and defensive lineman Rodney Laura. And that brings the total number of outgoing personnel to 23. So we've had 23 guys enter the spring portal, as of the time that it opened. And this is a pretty significant amount of personnel. Now, just going through these guys real quick, Jahvaree Cobb was a 3-star kid out of Reidsville, and he was the number 26 ranked player in the state last year. And Carolina should be in fairly good position, still at the running back spot because they still got Davion Gauss, Bullet, as he's so affectionately called. They should have a healthy Caleb Hood. Charleston Fritz looked pretty good in the spring game. And then obviously they have the newly acquired Benjamin Hall, who we will discuss here in a second. So hope that young man finds what he's looking for. But obviously, as a North Carolinian man or a former Tar Heel, he is forbidden to stay inside the triangle. Now, next up, we got Ryan Ward. He becomes the second tight end in the portal for Carolina behind Julian Randolph. Ryan Ward was featured on a few special teams last year. However, obviously, that room was stacked with John Copenhaver, Bryson Nesbitt, Jake Johnson. So wasn't a ton of room for him to get a ton of burn. And obviously former 4-star Jake Johnson seems to be the shoe-in to lead that room this year, along with newly acquired Connor Cox from South Carolina, man. So the Heels should be fairly solid at that position as well. Next up, former 3-star linebacker Curtis Simpson. He enters the portal. He is the 5th linebacker to do so. He was the 31st ranked player in the state of North Carolina. Dude, 6'4", 215 pounds. And, Carolina has lost the Cruz brothers to Memphis. Michael Short went to the portal, still hasn't found a home yet. And what was set to be Carolina's anchor at the second level, obviously, Amari Campbell for the second time. So 5 linebackers have entered the portal thus far. And the last one is, the fact that Rodney Laura, he's the last to enter his name into the portal just before the deadline. And I think that there were a good amount of people thinking that he may have pushed for a starting position this year with Travis Shaw moving on to Texas and Carolina having some holes in that interior defensive line spot. So kind of interesting that, some of these position groups that we thought were going to be places where guys could come in with, vacancies, and they could kind of carve their way into the 2 deep, man. So, really interesting to see Rodney Laura put his name into the transfer portal as well. UNC's fairly young and inexperienced in the middle, despite, bringing junior CJ Mims over from ECU, and now DeAndre Robinson from Florida. But this is still a position group that's really going to be young in the 2 deep. Right now, we got like Peter Pazanski, Leroy Jackson. They're both redshirt freshmen who could be thrust into action early on next season. Man, we'll see, because we're going to talk about a couple of guys that may be able to fill some of those holes. So just an interesting dichotomy that Carolina has right there, man. So obviously, like I said, some of these guys really hurt. Bo Atkinson, who we've talked about, going to Ohio State. Obviously, Amari Campbell in the portal for the second time. But, all you can do is really stink and move on, man. So let's talk about the guys coming in that are hopefully going to fill some of those voids. And we'll start with, we'll go from, time-wise when these guys committed to North Carolina. So we'll start off with the former 3-star UAB offensive tackle Jordan Hall. Now, this dude is a massive man, dude. 6'8", 310 pounds. He's obviously got the frame and the length to be a prototypical offensive tackle. And if you kind of Google him, man, the dude looks pretty good, man. He looks like he's a pretty daggum good shape, man. He redshirted his freshman year, but he played all 12 games last year for the UAB Blazers. And he only logged 1 star at left tackle, though. So he does have 3 years of eligibility remaining. And I think this is more of a project guy at this point. Like I said, great physical characteristics. So we'll have to see how he can be coached up to help this football team in 2025, right? Carolina had to get bigger in the trenches. Carolina had to get more guys in the trenches. So, we'll see what he can do, coming in after spring ball. Now, next up, we have defensive lineman Joseph Mapoyi. He's coming over from Penn State as a former high 3-star edge rusher. He redshirted his freshman year as well before playing in 2 games last year for the Nittany Lions, tallying 1 tackle. And he should obviously bolster that edge position behind guys like Vilbert Smith, also from Penn State, Price Yates from UConn, and Melkart Abu Jaoud from Delaware State, man. So literally, Bill Belichick, Steve Belichick, they are piecing this new defensive line together in year 1. So it's going to be really interesting to see what that 2 deep looks like, man. And, I feel like we're pretty good on the edge, at least serviceable, if you will, especially with some of these guys coming in. And one of the places that we really been talking about, especially, in the Huddle Hooligan, chat, is just how terrified we are as far as the interior of that defensive line, man. And hopefully these next 2 guys can give us just the juice that we stink and need, man. So the best news Carolina received here recently was sophomore DeAndre Robinson committing to the Tar Heels, man. Once again, the interior defensive line has been an issue for Carolina for years now, and we are seriously hoping that the 6'3", 305-pound former 247 composite 4-star can be an anchor down there, dude. He should, for all intents and purposes, man, I would say that this is almost, one of those positions is his to stink and take. Now, as a true freshman in the SEC playing for Florida, in which he played 11 games, and when you're talking about being a true freshman in the Southeastern Conference, dude, playing in the trenches, I have to say, man, finishing with 17 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks is pretty daggum impressive, man. Those are pretty good numbers for a true freshman interior defensive lineman in that conference, if you ask me, man. So I was personally stoked to see the Heels get this pickup, man. And, that would bring the total number of players coming to North Carolina to 10. But, oh, wait. There is more, man. 3-star Isaiah Johnson has committed from Arizona, 6'1", 310-pound defensive tackle as well, man. So there you go. 2 big dudes with a little bit of game experience, man, that could possibly come in and fill that void in the interior of that defensive line, dude, because a lot of us were worried that was going to be a place where teams just kind of running up the gut, just slowly, methodically run the football down our throat. And it's been a problem for Carolina for years. So not only getting the guys with the right mentality, the guys coached up, the guys getting the good leverage so that they can stay out of our linebackers' laps. Hopefully, Isaiah Johnson and DeAndre Robinson can be those stinking staples in the middle that we need, man. And that will conclude our portal talk update, man. But before we get out of here, dude, I do got to give a shout out to 2 more Tar Heels that signed undrafted free agent deals with NFL teams. And we'll start with defensive lineman Jahvaree Ritzie and defensive lineman Des Evans. Now, Ritz is going to the New England Patriots, so he gets reunited with the great Drake May. And Des Evans is going to the Tennessee Titans, man. And that gives us 9 Tar Heels in the National Football League. Obviously, Omarion Hampton, once again, was the one guy who was actually drafted. And now we have 8 Tar Heels that have signed as undrafted free agents in this cycle, man. So congratulations to them. Obviously, we wish and hope that all of these Tar Heels have great, successful years, man, that they make a roster and that they can represent the University of North Carolina, with absolute honor, man. So let me know what you guys think about not only the guys that we got, down in the transfer portal, down in the comment section, man. Do you feel good about these guys? Does it kind of bolster your opinion of, Carolina being able to kind of hold the line in year 1 of Bill Belichick as far as defensively is concerned? Because we've had some guys leave at the defensive lineman position. We've had some guys leave at the linebacker position that could possibly hurt us. But how do you feel as far as Carolina's ability with the pieces they have right now? How confident are you that we could formulate, a defense that could stop the run? I'm very interested in what you think, Tar Heel Nation, down in the comment section. And additionally, what do you think about Ritz, man, and Dez getting those undrafted free agents, getting an opportunity to try to make an NFL roster, even though going undrafted? So you let me know what you guys think about UNC's latest outgoing and incoming guys on the gridiron, Tar Heel Nation. What do you think the areas Carolina needs to still address the most on this stinking roster? I want you guys to meet me down in the comment section and let's chop it up. You already know it's a great day to be a Tar Heel, baby, and we'll catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.